Hey, fellow weirdos and weirdettes, how are you doing? My name is Haunted, and today we are going to be working on the Calypso Mark II again. This will be, second day on stream anyways. Third day overall. I did some airbrushing the first day or masking, lots of masking with a silly putty, and then airbrushed it, and then yesterday we started painting in the details, cutting in the hoses, cutting in the knee pads, doing pin washing, and starting on some work on the trim around those knee pads, as well as starting to cut in the tanks here. So we're going to continue our work with that. We will be working around the kneecaps, finishing those up each in turn today. So yeah, we're going to get started here in just a second. As soon as I can get that, whatever that is, off my paint job. Looks like it's a little piece of trash. It may have gotten stuck in the varnish. That's unfortunate. Sometimes you can fix that with just, a tiny bit of thinned paint that's of similar shade or value to that. So it's not anything to get like super bent about. So just keep that in mind, folks. Let me flip over to my view so I can see the streaming. Oh, there we go. Hello, Wolf Concepts. How are you doing? Welcome in. Been a while. Amish Dig, how are you doing, sir? Only caught the stream intermittently because I keep forgetting to hit the button, so I figured I'd do it while you're thinking. Well, fantastic. Well, thank you for doing that. I try and flash my Discord when I'm going live on their stream, but I don't always remember it. But today we had some time before going live, so I remembered. Hey, Gel Tip, you finally get to lurk the channel. Always miss the stream. Nice. Well, welcome in, Gel Tip. Glad to have you. It's good to see some familiar faces in here. You finished the move and are settling in. Okay. Is that why I've not seen you so active? That makes sense. Moves are, wow. I have moved so many times. I feel like I'm a professional. Like I should just, open my own moving company. But at the same time, I absolutely hate moving so much that I don't ever want to have to do it again. I mean, I'm good at it. Don't get me wrong. I can pack the hell out of a house, but I don't like it. Not at all. Yeah, you do, but I'm more about checking Discord while I'm working. Oh, okay. You see it like 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. It's almost like Facebook's algorithm. You always see the stuff after it's occurred. Except that one's self-imposed, right? I was upset I missed the Camping for Gamers week with Third Floor Wars. And I don't know how. I mean, I'm a member of their Facebook page, but I think I may have not turned on notifications for the page and completely missed the word going out about the event. Of course, that would have meant I wouldn't have been here this week streaming. So, but a bunch of people camping in the woods and playing games nonstop sounds like a blast. So I'll just have to wait till maybe next spring and try it. Able to stream last Saturday for a special event, but I'm working on building your station. Ooh, nice. Nice. The all-important painting station. I kind of want to set mine up a little differently. Like I'm just having this bug to try something different for it, but I don't know how I want to do it, Mainly because the price of lumber is just so crazy expensive still. It's kind of holding me back because basically what I'd like to do is build a modular desk system that I can put it together in different ways that has storage for, all the tools I might need, as well as miniatures I might be working on in the queue, and have it where I can roll it and move it and change the configuration. But it would require a lot of wood. And wood is so incredibly expensive right now. So I don't know if that's something that's going to happen anytime soon. I keep saying, when things get back to normal, but unfortunately, I don't think things are ever going to get back to normal. I also found out one of your clients' minis is worth like $130. Nice. Damn, which mini is that? And do I have 2 or 3 of them? Okay, let's get a little bit thicker. Hey, Korok, how are you doing? In the middle of your shift, but wanted to poke in and say, hey, I'm glad you're liking it so far, man. It's a fun model. It's a cumbersome model to paint, right? Because all those hoses in the way and everything. It's not meant for handling, but it's a very cool model. I kind of wish they'd gotten the stance like the concept art, where he's kind of like squatted down lower in the front, because that looked mean. Like it looked like he was really coming for you, kind of thing. I'd never seen the concept art until Kim posted it the other day. Or I don't know if that was the concept art, but like the final artwork, not render, just it looked mean. Santana Ortega. Yeah, I picked her up for $50 a couple months back. But yeah, she can go as high as 130. She looks too much like the alternate Death Marshal to me, almost other than the lack of coffin, like almost exact. So I'm not in any hurry to paint her up. Yeah, it's not super great for us other siblings, mainly because I was concerned about alignment issues with the hoses, so felt like those need to go on, and the legs, they don't plug in to the side, because I thought, well, I'll I'll put the spear together, paint it up, and then I'll plug the legs in, but they don't. The legs kind of stack together. Like there's one long bar that goes, and then there's another long bar that kind of sets in it a certain way. And then these other two kind of plug in to a certain spot on that middle bar. And then you have to set all three in the body and put the other half together. So if I put the body together, I'd made a big boo-boo. I would have had to tear it apart. So yeah, it's an interesting build. It would have been nice if we could have had them separate, but I was just trying to clean up that dirtiness here real quick. It does look like a different pose of mysterious. Yeah. Like I said, if it had a coffin, it would be mysterious in a different pose. But like I said, it's still a good miniature. It's just not one of those I'm in a super big hurry to paint now. Since I have another one like it. Most expensive Malifaux model I have is that Alt Hana. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, I've seen that one go for 200 on some of the forums. That one can get crazy. It is funny when you get that collectible thing going in a game. Like I've been in Malifaux relatively a short time, but I have missed a lot of the collectible things. But over time, I'm starting to collect them, pick them up. Like I just got the retro Fate deck the other day, which that thing tends to go anywhere from $50 to $100. I actually managed to get it relatively cheap. The shipping brought it up to $55, but the deck itself was reasonable. So I was super happy about that, and it was completely 100% sealed and unused, which was awesome. Bless you, kitty cat. Yeah, folks, my cat is here today. He will be gracing us with his presence and his sneezes. Hey, Jay Morey, how are you doing? Welcome in. I think we need to kind of smooth that in just a wee bit there. It's awful bright. We're not doing super high in NMM. We don't want it to be just steppy, notchy, right? All right, Gel Tip, lurk away. Lurkers are always appreciated. Thank you so much for hanging out. I'm doing good, Jay. Thank you for asking. We're just doing business, painting the sucker up here, doing some little non-metallic gold trim. Are you still there just working? That's fine. That's fine. I appreciate it. Like I said, lurking, working while lurking, all good, all appreciated. Like Korok here, he's at work watching us, so that's cool. I need to go back a color. Going to build a little spot for your ratties to hang out within my station somewhere. Oh, that's interesting. I always thought I should get one of those judgment stations for my cat. You know, those little shelves that sit on the corner of your desk so they can sit there and stare at you and judge what you're doing. And then put another webcam on him. Since he is the star of my show, I mean, everybody talks about the cat more than me, so. I got to get around to getting another camera. Now, most of these little leg pads, this trim is pretty much there in suggestion only. So we're kind of cutting it in and making it a trim piece. So it's not 100% there. I should do it. Yeah, like I said, I mean, he is the star of the show, right? No one wants to see my palette cam. They just want to see the cat. Meow. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, here we go. We got the outline pretty good now. So you asked somebody at a Malifaux tournament the other weekend if Calypso Mark II and BB were inspired by 20,000 Leagues or Jacques Cousteau. We sort of settled on a bit of both. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Appearance-wise, probably closer to Jacques Cousteau. I mean, because, you know, it's a personal bathysphere, which was, you know, the most common shape for personal submersibles, which was, you know, Jacques Cousteau's specialty, rather than, you know, a large, basically underwater war machine / luxury yacht like 20,000 Leagues. But maybe concept wise, as far as like powers or whatever, this could be closer to the 20,000. That's an interesting theory deposit. I like that. Kitty cat hanging out by my feet. Hey, Kim, do you know where the music was sourced for our startup screen? Because I do find it very, very chill. I like it. And Stig was commenting on it earlier, and I was curious where it came from. Okay, so we're just continuing to work this trim around a little bit, adjusting for the position of the trim in this case, because this one sticks straight out. We're going to be changing up the way the light hits it a little bit. Most of the other ones are pretty much kind of in that downward position. Found like the 40K type chants for when I do 40K streams. Use lo-fi for Malifaux streams. Nice. Yeah, I dig our little guitar riff. Like I said, I'm not sure where it came from, but I like it. Okay, so we're just gonna keep putting that up a little bit. Go. We're gonna take this up another notch here. Can't remember if this is the last color I used or if it was the previous or the next. I mean, yeah, it's definitely the next. Good deal. I was kind of surprised I'm able to use these paints from yesterday that we mixed up. It is kind of the wonder of a wet palette. Although in my case, mine tends to get really, really super duper wet. And the paints are usually worthless the next day. Like they'll spread too far apart. Mainly because I'm using paper towel and parchment paper. And it tends to get over wet, the paints, when it sits for a while. I can usually moderate this by putting the lid like half on, half off. But last night they were fully covered and I saw them all spread out. I was like, oh God, they're not going to work. But I reincorporated them with a quick stir and they're fine. So that's awesome. I don't have to remix everything. What I did, Geiger, over the weekend, I was listening to Space Wolves type music, which was very futuristic Viking music. Interesting. Cool beans. Okay. So we got 4 of those pads done now. And I'm not seeing there we go. The camera's just not being nice. It's very blue. It's not this blue in person. But anyways, what I was getting around to with the wet palettes is I finally broke down and back the red grass palette. Everybody makes this big deal about it, and I always thought, a wet palette's a wet palette, right? Now, granted, I don't expect it to keep my paints for days and days, but I've never had any issue with performance of the paint on my wet palette, right? So I saw no need in buying a $50 palette when my little free palette, basically free, works just as well. So I'm not the type of person that buys into hype, right? So I was like, well, mine works fine. I'm not buying the red grass one. So it's just, it's wasted money. But when they did the Kickstarter for the second one, I figured, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get this. I'm going to back it and do, an objective review, free of bias, and see how if it really does improve my workflow. So I'm anxiously awaiting that. I have a feeling they'll probably be here before Christmas, maybe. Sorry, did you say you revive paints? Oh, I just revived them on my wet palette. My wet palette tends to get over wet, so it really super duper thins the paints and spreads them out. But you can kind of reincorporate them if they don't combine too much. you can reincorporate them. So that's what I was talking about. Are there any Malifaux audiobooks? There's not audiobooks, but there are podcasts or audio podcasts for the Malifaux. If you look for Through the Breach podcast, you can find them on YouTube as well as Malifaux's website or Wyrd's website. But they basically take you through the history of the written lore in audio format. I have actually just started on them myself, so yeah, they're pretty good. I've like I said, relatively kind of a noob when it comes to Malifaux lore. Generally with the game, I tend to find just enough lore to tell me whether I'm going to be interested in it or interested in a crew. And that's about all I'll do. Because my previous game was Warhammer 40K. And to get involved with all the lore would have just been, thousands and thousands of dollars. So I was just like, you know what? I just need enough to figure out which army I'm going to be playing. And of course, I ended up with Chaos and Slaaneshi themed Chaos at that. And that's basically all I learned was just a little bit to pick my army, and that was it. And I've kind of kept that with everything else, like with Infinity and such. But now that I'm pretty much at home with Malifaux and tend to want to stay here, I decided, I need to get my butt in gear and actually start learning the lore, especially since I'm here talking on stream about it, right? So yeah, I've gotten into that recently. Yay, there you go. Got a link to it even. Special. Okay. We did get a little bit of our trim color on those black hoses, so we'll just cut that right back in. No problem. Just like that. Just paint a happy little tree. Okay. Just FYI, is DANKE. That just jumped really high up there, didn't it? Like super bright. Yeah. I have to tone that down a little bit. You love sharing the lore with Foviverse. Nice. Nice. Of course, now some of it was because it was just put down. Of course, when you put your paints down at first, they are a little brighter, more intense feeling than when they dry. So that does have something to do with it. But let's tone it down just a tiny bit there. At some point, I'm wanting to get back and finish my my Malifaux terrain piece that I started, but I'm not sure if I should do it here or just do another stream. I have hobby ADD, unfortunately, really bad right now. Like I'm jumping from project to project and trying to reel myself in, but it's just not working. What I need to do is like maybe put all my projects that I'm interested in on a wheel, spin the wheel, and vow to finish only the project that it lands on and do that. That way it's random and I have to stick with it. Of course, that's if I can. Make a promise to myself I will. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Wolf. I do appreciate it. We appreciate it. See here. Interesting that I've been doing lately. Thing I've been doing with building Malifaux. That's some of the special orders from Wyrd. So when I wanted to expand some of my crews, I had to buy models I already had, which came packaged with models I didn't have. Turns out the extra models grant excellent opportunities for kit bashing. Oh, nice, very nice, Jay. That's something we don't. I don't think we see that much of is kit bashing and modifying in the Malifaux. Now, not saying it doesn't happen, but we don't see it as much. I don't think as with another community that won't be named. I know. Well, you could use. There you go. There you go. Kim has the answers. I was going to tell you I would do that if you needed volunteers. We'll find a model I can experiment with and play around on, and we'll do the wheel. Would it be possible to listen and stream at the same time, or will we get flagged for copyright? I don't think we're playing. Are you talking about like listen to ours and stream on yours? Is that what you're talking about, Wolf? I don't think we're playing any music, so you probably wouldn't have a copyright strike for that. Yeah, I was so paranoid of the DMCA strikes when I first started on Twitch. I literally deleted my first channel because I had played music previously on it that would have been copyrighted strike. Had mutes on it in the VODs, and apparently, while they don't keep it on your page, they do store any previous videos. So they could literally come back and hit you with the DMCA years later if they wanted to, another strike. So I deleted the channel and started over with and played nothing but copyright free music from day one on that one, just to make sure I would have no future problems come back and haunt me later on. Haunt me, named haunted. Sorry. I made a joke to myself. Adam John, thank you for that like. I did see that one. I wish I could get the notification sounds without getting, having to hear myself on the stream. I think with Twitch, all I need to do is get permission from the owner, which would be weird. Yeah, that would be correct. Yeah. And for something I don't like that, I don't think Twitch would actually auto strike you. I think they would. It would be like if the original content owner saw you streaming their stuff, then they could request that Twitch bring it down, like people do on YouTube. Pretty sure that's how that game plays. Okay. Now we're getting to an E-pad here that the top is visible again, which means we'll have to do a tiny little bit of blending. What kills me is the number of people that multi-stream on Twitch that are affiliates and partners. Because you sign your affiliate contract and your partner contract with Twitch, it pretty much expressly forbids streaming to any other platform at the same time you're streaming to Twitch. You have to wait 24 hours before playing the same content on another platform. And all these people do it and they never get caught. And it's just like, if I did that one time, I would be caught and they would yank my license. Oh, you were talking about doing the podcast while streaming. Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about like streaming this in the background. Continue to stream this in the background while you're streaming on your own so that you could support it. I get you now. I totally misunderstood, Wolf. Sorry. Partner might allow, but if a poor affiliate like us do it and they find out, yep, breach contract. See ya. Yep. But I know of two very popular streamers that do this, and they've never been dinked for it yet. Or I shouldn't say like popular as in small fry popular, not popular like 15,000 viewer popular. Okay, so we're just going to blend this in a little bit here. Blend those edges down a bit. Trying to. Give that a second to dry. Kind of off screen. Sorry about that. This monster is a pain to paint in this little bitty wedge of window that I've got to work with. Oh, and I hit the camera again. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of vertigo there, swinging the camera around. Sorry about that. Allergies, they are a pain. Hey, Carew, how are you doing? All right, Jay. Hate to see you go, but thank you for hanging out with us. Hope to see you again soon. Have a great day. Hey, Total. Holy crap. How are you doing? Welcome in, man. Are you watching while at work? Don't worry. I won't tell your bosses. Next month. Awesome. So you're going to get into some Malifaux too, huh, Carew? Very nice. Very nice. Spread the Malifaux love. Spread the good word of Malifaux. That's what it's about, folks. That is what it is about. Any fantasy sports ball people? Negative here. I don't do sports ball. Lots of familiar faces today. Haunted Breast Shake. Breast Shake bringing all the regulars to the yard. That's good. I like that. We'll have to make that a GIF on my stream. Oh God. Breast Shake. You like the Malosaurus Rex, and the two apps that released just made things easier for me. Yeah, that Malosaurus Rex is a fantastic model. I am anxious to get my hands on one, but I've got it. I just haven't actually gotten around to having time to build it or paint it. But I am looking forward to that one. Sorry guys, my eyes are watering really bad, so that's what that's about. If it was me, it'd be camera shake. Needs more camera shake. Well, I have hit the camera at least like what 4 times today, so you know, the camera shake is not far off. Okay, back to El Calypso. El Calypso. I'm sorry, you say who here, Karu? It was funny. Last night I was contemplating. I was going to finish up the bamboo on on my Miss Hapen, and it's like, I need to look up some references for bamboo because I know it's green, but does the green get darker toward the ridges, the segments? Does it get darker um, in the middle? Um, are the segments, are they brown? Are they dark green? Are they light green? Do they vary? And lo and behold, I started watching this show called Nine Perfect Strangers, and there was a lot of bamboo in the background. I was like, perfect. I have my reference. um, so yeah, that actually worked out. Oh, you were talking about me, crew. Yeah, I have not been doing my normal streams lately, unfortunately. It's I have basically 2 days a week that I can do things um extracurricular without too much problem. And I've been doing them with Wyrd over here, and that really doesn't leave much room then for me to do streams then, because I'm playing catch up then when I would be normally streaming for my streams. So that's why you haven't seen me on as much. I'm going to try and get things a little bit more back to normal schedule wise, but I don't know when that's going to happen. The insanity continues. 0.025. Still doing your trip into microscopic layers on a FDM. The search for the holy grail of that. Yeah. I mean that's essentially what I've been doing. It's just like taking a step back and like deciding, is it something I really want to push for? I mean, I honestly have not been watching as many streams either, um, because the free time just isn't there. So while I got some people in here, let me know what you think about these little ridges here, these little segments between the legs, those little ridges here, between here and here. Should we paint those like the trim? Should we paint those gold non-metallic metal? So they'll have a little separation there. Let me know what you think. And I know what Kim's vote is. The ridges need ruffles. They do kind of need ruffles, don't they? Those ruffles have ridges. We're getting close. We only have 2.5 more of these knee pads to do. That's a good thing. So, no thoughts from the peanut gallery, huh? Okay, all right. Well, I'm going to probably do them the same as the knee pads, I think. I know it's more work for myself, but that's what I do sometimes. Oops. Camera shake number 5. Sorry about that, guys. Damn, I think I knocked it out of focus, didn't I? Bonk indeed. One of my high school friends, her nephew, always hit his head on everything, like just nonstop. And he never hit anything lightly. Like he just would plow his head into it. And I started calling him Bonk. And I found out the other day I actually ran into him in a grocery store. And he still goes by the name Bonk. That's his nickname, and it stuck. So here's this 30-year-old dude named Bonk. It cracked me up. Shake, 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 Sonora. Shake your body, honey. Shake, 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 Sonora. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, Future Maniac, how are you doing today? Been a bit. How are you doing? Good news about your TTB campaign. Fantastic. Lay it on us, man. What is up with it? The man my mother should have married called her Ricochet Rabbit. All had a nasty habit of getting so absorbed in whatever she'd walk into people. Yeah, I can relate to that. I have done that myself many times. Yeah. But since there's always somebody else in here, there's no context for you. I'm not quite sure what you're saying. But yeah, glad you have good news for your TTB. That's awesome to hear. Quick question before you wind up too much. Do you do your TTB on do you do it on stream, or is it kind of like a at home sit down campaign or a LGS sit down campaign? You do it in person? Oh, fantastic. I've gotten so used to, the online aspect of gaming because not only, I mean, I was doing it long before COVID, right? Because getting D&D games together is really difficult. Between schedules, between people's social anxiety, mine included, it was always difficult to get together in person. So Roll20 became a thing very early on. I mean, I was one of the early adopters for it. But I do kind of I think I miss the concept of in-person gaming more than I actually miss in-home gaming itself. Like when I did it last, it was a party. Like, everybody would bring snacks and drinks and, we turn the lights down low and, light candles everywhere. And, it was like we were trying to immerse ourselves in the dungeon. Of course, then somebody eats a chip and breaks immersion. But, it was a party. And when we tried to relive that kind of thing, it never quite felt the same. No one plays that in your country, really? You don't think he had a nickname in high school, but it's been 33. That's funny. Touch up that blue, I believe. You like the sitting around the table atmosphere? Yeah, I mean, like I said, the social anxiety thing for me is a relatively new thing. And back when I was doing the round table, it wasn't an issue. So I did really like it. But nowadays, I can't go back to that, unfortunately. And it's strange for that to like come on like a sudden onset thing. I think it honestly had something to do with medication I was on for a long time. It was a magnesium depleter, and magnesium apparently has a lot to do with the way your brain processes social interactions. So it's very possible that being in a low magnesium state for so long may have actually permanently affected the way my brain handles social situations. And that's why I get the anxiety in crowds and stuff like that. Ooh, wow, we are getting some super lag. Is that on my end? Chip crunches in the gavel. Gravel characters. Yeah, yeah. Campaign takes place during the Titania Lilith struggle. Gang went to Stranger Keep to find a guy that Titania kidnapped. She ripped his heart out during the process. Oof. They found him and his heart, which they destroyed, meaning the guy no longer under control of Titania and no longer caused trouble for the party. Titania might nice. Wow. That sounds like a pretty high-end campaign there. Dealing with the queen herself. COVID has intensified the social awkwardness of people. Well, yeah, but this was happening long before COVID. COVID didn't help. I mean, it kind of helped me in a way because I wasn't expected to be in social environments then. If that makes any sense. But yeah. Blame Twitch. Hashtag blame Twitch. It's why Zoom gaming TTS and even games with ginormous tables built into them just aren't the same. There's nothing like moving pieces around in person. I agree. I wish I had the library for it. You know, I used to have so many games and or so many miniatures and pieces of train, but over the years and the moves and stuff, I just don't. And up here where I live, unfortunately, is the how do I put it gently? The buckle of the Bible Belt. They still burn D&D books here. Okay, guys. So D&D is not something that you play in this area. Okay, just working this trim around a little bit here. There are such areas, my friend. There are. It's a very tiny town, very, very religious southern town. Like, more churches than stoplights in this town. COVID has helped you. You have a social life again. After my friends have been scattering to the winds for the last that makes sense because now they have to do the online gatherings, so you can finally kind of nail people down. That makes sense. You know, as part of the South, where it's a really bad idea to play D&D is when there are more churches than gun stores. Oof. You know, I think there actually are more churches than gun stores here. I think there's only one gun store. There used to be several, but I think there's only one now. Unless you count like the pawn shop, because they do sell guns there, but it's, you know, secondhand stuff. But yeah, it's a very, very tiny, very backwards town. Got a gnat in here. Sorry about that. But yeah, anyways, that was just my point of why it was kind of hard to do the D&D thing here. I think those afraid of D&D don't really understand what it's about. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's leftovers from the days of Satanic Panic. You know, it's one of those things, and these people latch onto it, and they only see the bad in it. You know, they don't understand the good that it can do. There are so many kids that has helped, you know, come out of their shells and stuff like that. It's a good tool. And as long as you treat it as, you know, either entertainment or a tool, then there's nothing wrong with it, right? Yeah, the part of the South where it's a bad idea. Yeah, got that. Makes my face makes me face palm and do a little. Yeah, it's one of those things, man. The good thing is, you know, there aren't as many of those type places anymore. It is becoming more and more rare to see towns like that or places like that. So take heart in that fact that it's on its way out. Can't say much. My mom was one of those. She bought into that Satanic Panic. I single handedly kept TSR afloat by buying the books over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Part of my family was Southern Baptist, part of it Methodist. And the arguments were either anything that isn't the church distracts from the church, therefore it's bad. People that would treat chick tracks with the same seriousness as documentaries. Oh wow. Oh wow. That's crazy, Steve. Yeah. Yeah. Don't even get them started on different ideologies. But yeah, well, let's get away from that topic. It can be volatile. uh, let's see here. I finally remember the Satanic Panic and the Tipper going ballistic over the backwards mask. Oh god, yeah. I remember the backward masking thing too. I'm trying to place the name Tipper though. Was Tipper a radio personality or a TV personality or political? I can't remember. That name sounds really super familiar. Tipper Dwarf. Okay. That's right. That's what I was thinking. Just met as many people through various churches, including Lutherans and Catholics. Go figure. Who didn't care or really were into it too. That's it. That's cool. That's cool. Very good, guys. Whew. It's like trying to paint while underwater. That's what this is like. It's really rough. Another hair. How did we get so many hairs on this model? I'll have to go back in with a pair of tweezers and get them off. All right, back to the painting. Sorry about that, guys. Mow yourself, cat. I'm streaming here. Keep it quiet. Got a little bit of black wash there on that wire. Let me fix that real quick. The thing is, it's not his hair. It's very clearly not his hair. Some other kind of. It's almost. It's probably this, actually. It's probably left over from the Q-tips because it's very short, curly, wispy hairs. I think that's what it's from. I thought I'd gotten most of them off, but apparently did not get them all. Yep, my cat is here. Talking earlier about I was going to get one of those judgment seats and another camera and just have the cat on the stream instead of my wet palette. So I've been talking about doing the wet palette cam, and I was like, you know what? The cat's more popular than the wet palette would ever be. We'll just put the cat on stream with me. Short, well, not curly, kinky. You know, it's the hairs are do like this. You know what I mean? Don't go weird on me. I'm hearing mentions of the kitty. You're getting bonus bristles. It's not his hair. He's a long hair cat. Like his hairs are like that long. So it's not him. I think it's from the Q-tips. Just saying. Yes, yes. I know that was an Archer phrasing moment. But I didn't have. Well, I guess I could have played it on my soundboard here. Did that come through at all? Yeah, yeah. You did phrasing and missed it. You know, I haven't done that one on my stream in a long time. Like even before I kind of took the break, we haven't had a phrasing moment in a long time. You're out, gonna go outside, get some work done for my station. Have a nice day. Thank you so much, Wolf. I appreciate you hanging out. It's good to see you. I'll try and catch you next time you're on. Okay. This is the last of the little gold trim here. And these kneecaps, of course, we still got to do all the trim on the around the ankles because I decided to do that gold as well. You know, because why not? Let's make my life more difficult. I don't even think we discussed doing, well, I think we may have discussed doing some non-metallic metal on here, but I don't think we discussed on doing so much of it. I don't know. But it's getting it now. Except I'm getting a real, like a World of Warcraft Stormwind feel from this dude right now. There we go. I'm gonna strengthen that shadow a little bit. Just a wee bit. Okay. So let me ask you a quick question, guys. Do you want me to do the ankle trim next, or work on something like the hoses or the O2 tanks or something like that next, to take a break from the gold? Up to you. Let me know. Must have been another little fiber there. Which paints did I use? For the gold, I use my standby, which is always, where is it? Rhinox. This is what I use for my gold, folks. Rhinox hide, English uniform, Japanese uniform, and ice yellow. Okay, and I'll mix these in various proportions. Like I'll do that first, and then these two together, and then this plus two of those, and then that by itself, and then that plus two of those plus one of these, and one of these plus one of those, and then that by itself, and so on and so forth. I make mixtures of these four colors, and I may get in a little ivory as well. Yeah, okay. I thought you were asking in specific, but yes, mainly Vallejo and GW. I have a good number of scale 75 colors as well, mainly for the metallics, which I don't do much of anymore. But these are really, wow, I haven't, you can see how little I've used them. They've separated. But these are really good metallics. If you want to do a metallic without going through the process of doing the non-metallic setup, get the scale 75. You'll thank me later. They're really, really good metallics. Okay, cutting in that trim there. Really liking Vallejo so far, but I do need to figure out how to thin it in a way that works the way I want it to. A game of puttering with water, medium mixture, and flow improver. Yeah, to be honest, I use like a little bit of water sometimes, but 99% of my thinning comes from the wet palette. Okay, so don't be afraid to try it that way. I mean, I tend to paint thicker than most people do, unless I'm glazing, because most of the stuff I'm painting is commission based, and I don't want to sit there and paint 10,000 coats of thin paint to get the coverage. So I tend to paint thicker. You can paint thick. You just have to be careful with it. You know, that the too thin coats thing is to prevent brush strokes. But if you learn control, painting with a non-thin paint is not an issue. It can save a lot of time by doing, you know, a single coat versus 5 or 6, or 2 coats versus 10 or 12 coats. So yeah, it's my thing. I don't thin too much, and like I said, unless I'm glazing. Yeah, this is a good one for it. The other one is we're going to be getting back to this one, but we just started on him, is the big stompy boy Hoffman. We're going to get back to him, but he's like all metal basically. So this is another good one for working with non-metallic metals. We got to get back to him eventually. Big stompy boy. Go and grab one of these. Fantastic. Do it. Do it. Brush tip control is solid, thankfully. If it's using straight from pot for almost 10 years. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's flat cylinders and sphere. Yeah, it does. It's a really all around good model to try, and it's not overly small. So that's another problem you get with a lot of these models, is they're really small, this one has some surface area to work with. So yeah, it's definitely a good one to practice those things on. I could literally spend weeks on this model if I wanted to, like weeks. It'd be really, really pretty like super duper pretty, but we don't have that kind of time. Struggle to describe it, so it doesn't help when comparing notes. It's a matter of picking up a bottle and playing with it until it makes a light. I have an idea what each liquid does. Someone was kind enough to run through that. Cool. Now, I will say my GW paints are probably a lot thinner than your standard GW paints. So they don't need any thinning at all. None. Because I thin them to put them in the into the pots, right? They get a little bit of flow improver and distilled water in there. So although that doesn't look very good, does it? But it shakes up nice. It doesn't seem to affect the paint other than the fact that it's thinner. But for like my Vallejos, I work with them on the wet palette, and I may add a little water to my brush as I pick them up, but very, very seldom do I go crazy. I don't use flow improver for anything other than my airbrush, except when I'm transferring a pot over. I'll put a little bit in there, but like Vallejo never gets that. What I find really funny is I'm still using these bomb wicks. I got them to try them out, and I wasn't really super impressed with them, and I'm still using them because they still work okay. They're just not the same as my broken toads that I love so much. But while they're working, I guess I'm gonna keep using them. So I at least found a brand that I can turn to when Broken Toad are out of stock. I can use them in the meantime until BT gets stock back in, which is nice because for a while there I was really sweating. I was like, I have no brushes. I am out of brushes. What am I going to do until Broken Toad gets new stock? It's like, well, you can try those monument brushes and see how those work. Join the church of the monument. And they've been okay. Like I said, they're not the greatest brushes, but they're not bad for the price, especially since they have toned down the shipping, because the shipping was what was the hard part for them. I mean, like the brushes, the shipping would be more than the brushes, and that was just, to me, was insane. Broken Toad, TOAD. They're an English company that makes a really, really, really smoking good brush. Unfortunately, being English, they are very expensive and to ship. So I tend to buy a minimum of 6 at a time, which can be pricey because they're as pricey, if not more so, than Winsor Newtons. So they get spendy. But this is an old one, so it doesn't have much of a tip, okay, anymore. You can see I've literally worn that tip flat. But this is a Broken Toad number 2. And their new line has a much chunkier handle, and a much longer, wider body. This is a new number 2. And I will literally paint Malifaux eyes with the number 2 brush. Okay. It's a very, very fine tip on there. I don't know if you can see it, if the camera will show just how fine that tip is. So I am not afraid at all to paint details with that big old brush. But I got a couple more over here in the tube. So there's 2 more down in there, plus another bomb wick. But those are the ones I use, are the broken toad mainly. It's just there was a period of time they were hard to get a hold of. I clean not often enough. And that is unfortunately a problem. I don't clean very often. And so my brushes don't last long. Generally, a brush will last me a commission, a single commission, and that's it. But it's paid for itself at that point. So I don't worry about it too much. Yeah. But they should be cleaned every session, sometimes twice a session. So a matter of should versus do. Those are things you have to worry about. I will clean them if I notice like I've got paint near the ferrule or in the ferrule. I will immediately clean it at that point. But it's not something I do on a regular basis. Like at the end of the day, I'm lucky if I get my airbrushes clean, because I basically paint till I'm exhausted and can't stand sitting at the desk anymore, and then just go straight to bed and leave the stuff on my desk like right where it is. So this is a case of do as I say, don't do as I do. Always clean your brushes after every session. Don't be a dolt like me. Unless you like buying expensive brushes all the time. Because you can do that. But it's not the cheapest way to do it. Think you do once a week? That's not horrible, but yeah, I would probably, like I said, try and stick to once every session. As soon as you're done with your session, clean them. And I tend to use Masters brush cleaner. This right here. The Gentastic stuff from Monument works as well. I prefer this. I do like the smell of Gentastic's Drunken Brush Scoop, though. It smells like beer, which is pretty cool. Ooh, good God, man. I wouldn't know what to do with a brush that lasted 20 years. Wow. That's crazy. I wouldn't even know. I mean, I have some brushes that are 20 years old. Will I use them for anything other than putting wash on a model? No. Yeah, the pink soap and brush shaper from Mona Lisa. Well, that'll work. I mean, I think most any soap will work as long as it's a conditioner soap, not one that strips oils. Because natural hair brushes are, of course, natural hairs. They require oils to keep from getting split ends and frays and frizzies. So that's really your only requirement, is make sure you don't have a soap that strips. Like, don't use Dawn. Okay, Dawn is bad for natural hair brushes because it cuts oil, it cuts grease. That's the job of Dawn. but you don't want that on your brushes. Okay, I'm beginning to think this was a bad idea here, guy. I get these rings from the backside. The good thing is, I don't have to do any detail work on the back. Just get them colored in, right? Mostly use old red handle GW. And they were real sable. Nice. Yeah, there you go. Herbal essence. And they'll smell nice too. There you go. I remember back when I was younger, we were poor as hell. We put oatmeal in the ground beef to stretch it so it would last longer. So we didn't have to spend as much on meat. That's how poor we were. And herbal essence was a high class, expensive shampoo that my mom liked, for the time. It was what she considered a high end, expensive shampoo. And my cousin and I, we were really young. I guess we were 4, 5. We decided to give the dog a bath. And we grabbed her herbal essence and we used the whole bottle. And I thought we were going to get our asses beaten to a pulp. She was so furious for the dog being bathed in her herbal essence shampoo. Okay. And there's this one here. So what I tend to do when I'm doing bulk metal pieces is I'll go in and base all of them with my darkest color, which is the Rhinox hide. And then I'll work them up individually. Because I found that if I try and do a bunch of different pieces of gold, I'll forget what step I was at on each one. So it's just easier if I do each piece individually, but I can always do the base on them without worry, right? Because they all need the base coat. Okay, so real quick here. That alcohol. There we go. That little shading I did there got way out of hand. I just came back in here and touched it up with a wee bit of alcohol. And the reason I can do that without my paint coming off is, well, I've got 3 coats of clear on here now. Between the gloss, 2 coats of gloss and a coat of matte. So I've got 3 coats of varnish there. So I can pretty much correct with abandon if necessary. Now, the problem with that is if you don't catch a mistake, if you don't catch a mistake before you put the varnish down, you lock it in. So definitely go over your model very carefully before varnishing. There are a couple mistakes trapped in this one, but I think they're minor enough they can be considered like defects or chips in the paint and that sort of thing, rather than mistakes in the actual paint job that weren't intended. At least that's my hope. Okay, 2 more legs. Ooh, boy, I slipped. About dumped that thing in the floor. Okay. So we reached the quiet point of the stream. Start talking about what colors I'm using again. We just got to get this Rhinox hide around these ribs here, and then we'll start on the other colors. Probably gonna have to mix some more. So we may actually go to working on the hoses instead of this. We have done enough gold for the day, I think. But I did want to get these blocked in with a base color before moving to something else. Okay. We're going to work on the hoses a bit here. This is Vallejo Dark Gray. And we're going to put it kind of like at the tops and the coils where it stretches and such, where we can. Not everywhere though, because everywhere would make it very difficult. This is one of those that I will thin just a wee little bit. I mean, I don't do it much, but I do add a little water to my brush because this paint is abnormally got the words abnormally thick. So it's one of those I do add a little water to. Not to the actual paint, but to the brush as I'm picking the paint up. God, I watched a show last night. It was called Ramen Heads. It was a documentary, and oh man, it was about these ramen chefs in Japan, and I was so starved by the time I finished watching it. Yeah, I was ready to jump on a plane to head to Japan and pick up some ramen at one of these joints. This one guy they had on there, that the main one that they were talking to, interviewing, he has won best ramen shop 4 years in a row in Japan. And I was like, wow, I would love to get there and taste his ramen. Abby normal. Yes, it is Abby normal. I'm assuming you're talking about Young Frankenstein. We may go up a little bit further on this. I don't see why a little bit of this won't hurt here on the outer bits. I like the look of that. Yeah, I thought you might be. We're of similar generational gappage, so yeah, I figured you might be referring to that. That has been a long-standing joke in my family as well. And if you guys don't know what he's talking about, there was a movie called Young Frankenstein. It had Gene Wilder in it, and I think it's Gilda Radner. Anyways, it's a kind of spoof of Frankenstein. And when he sent Igor to get a brain, the brain was labeled abnormal, and Igor thought it was Abby normal, as in the name Abby, last name normal. Anyways, that's where the joke is that we're talking about. Bless you, kitty cat. We're just snuffling and sneezing. Weirdo cat. One of many movies from my youth that you never get made nowadays. That is very true. Very true. How about a History of the World Part 1? Definitely a no-no movie now. I was always disappointed he never got around to making the sequel to It. And of course, he poked fun on himself, of course, by doing the Spaceballs 2. But that never happened either. Damn it. Oh, Blazing Saddles. Now that one, I don't remember much from, I'll be honest. That one I think I only saw maybe one time. But it would be considered wildly racist and inappropriate now. But at the time it was comedy, you know, people making fun of themselves, and it didn't seem to matter. I saw a mistake. Where is it? There it is. There we go. Okay. So we're just going to be painting these little hosies. Painting a happy little hose. That could almost be phrasing, couldn't it, guys? Didn't hear much from Total. I'm guessing his boss caught him really quick. That's a bummer. Why bosses got to be like that? Can't let a person watch their streams at work. I mean, the nerve of them. I think one of the happiest I'd ever been was when I was working in a computer shop. And it was actually a friend of mine's shop. So there was that. But, working in a computer, you could watch videos, and anybody ever say anything, oh, I'm testing the video card output, blah, blah, blah. It was so easy to make excuses for doing things that you weren't supposed to be doing. Waiting for this code to compile, blah, blah, blah. Easy days. Okay. And we'll come back in with this a highlight color once we get all done with all this bits here. Blazing. Are they Cheerios? That one I'm not sure context. That one, you may have got me on that one. History of the World, Brain Donors, My Cousin Benny, Johnny Dangerously. Oh God, Johnny Dangerously. My sister hung me on a hook once. once. You know, I don't think I ever saw brain donors. That one I didn't see. But all the other ones, yeah, were really good. It's an 88 Magnum. It shoots through schools. So see, I remember some of those from Johnny Dangerously. Oh, did I? Frick, I don't even remember that. I'm sorry. That's why the joke fell flat, because I didn't know. I didn't remember saying that. We'll put one or two more back here. All right. Same thing as the others, just painting some of these hoses here. It's like kind of doing the tip tops and stretchy portions of them. I'm not going to paint every single segment because that would just be too annoying. Just need enough to simulate some stretching / reflections on the hoses. So that's what we're doing. Giving them a little bit of life through some highlights, because black is kind of a boring color. Yeah, got to jazz it up a little bit. There's a little bit down there I didn't catch with the black, though. Right there. Airplane, top secret. Oh, God. Strange brew. Oh, my Lord. Hey, you hoser. That was a good one. Rick Moranis. The early days. I'm trying to remember the plot of that one. They were trying to get free beer, so they put a baby rat or baby mouse in a bottle and were feeding it, and then we're going to pour beer on top of it and then take it to the plant to claim that they'd gotten a beer bottle with a mouse in it, and they were going to sue so that they would get free beer, right? And then they found out there was some sort of plot that the beer had mind controlling properties. God, that one's been a long time ago. Surprised there's no ice pirates in that list, though. You should have ice pirates in there, because that's kind of on the same lines as Strange Brew. I forget when the dog rolled up the roof in Strange Brew. I was like, wait, what? Did I see that? Like the first time I was watching, oh God, what was it? The '70s show. I didn't know the premise of the show, right? I just knew, '70s show. Um, but I was a child in the '70s, so I wasn't really exposed to the drug culture or whatever. Um, so the first episode, I'm sitting there watching, and um, the main character, can't think of his name, Eric. He's sitting there talking on the phone, and the wallpaper starts moving or through the kitchen, like it's moving underneath the items in the kitchen, including the phone. And it freaked me out. I was like, what is going on here? I think it was their pilot episode. I don't think they ever did it again. But I remember seeing that, and I was like, what is going on? And then, he's high. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. Sheltered child. Your wait, Ice Pirates wasn't intended to be a comedy, really? Really? What the hell happened then? Because it definitely came across as a comedy to me. Okay, now we're going to come in with a little bit of London Gray and hit some high spots on these hoses and tubes and leggy doodads. I don't know if you can tell, but I switched sides on them because the other side was starting to face upward. Or at least not as funny as it turned out to be. Oh, okay. Still, it definitely seemed like it was written as a comedy to me. I guess maybe as much as Adam's Family, it was a comedy, but yet they're blowing each other up, stabbing each other with knives, cutting each other up with axes, and shooting each other with crossbows and stuff. But yet it's funny. It's a comedy. Always struck me as strange how they survived that stuff. I mean, obviously TV show, but you know what I mean. Okay, now the hose is starting to pop out a little bit more now. Ooh, are we shut? Are we shutting down early, Kim? I just said, are we shutting down early today? Because you usually do that link when we're getting ready to close out. Okay. But anyways, that link that she posted, that goes to the Willow link, which has links to all my social medias. So it's my Instagram and YouTube and Book of Faces and all that good stuff. So if you would kindly drop me a follow, those are free. I do appreciate it. Be back next week. I'm not sure if we're going to be working on this model next week or not. We might, but for sure we'll be back next Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. working on some Malifaux goodness of some sort, for sure. Oh, okay. I gotcha. I wasn't sure. You know, we've been going to 6, so I wasn't sure if we were popping off earlier or not. Miss Possible. Yep. She's a little bit like Kim Possible. She has better hair though. Kim has cool colored hair. It's like fire, like literally fire now. Oranges and reds and stuff is really pretty. All right. I did not get that hose there, did I? Whoops. Or did I? I did sort of. Just very faint. Okay. We'll get these down here. Oops, sorry. Head bonk on the camera, number 6. We've done that a few times today, haven't we? Okay. So our hoses are done there. Or done enough. And so yeah, let's keep it going here. I'm going to start just a little bit of the edging. Not a lot, but a little bit. Need to get a USB-C hub, or else I'm going to be swapping between the new camera and the external drive. Ooh. Yeah, I am a very late adopter on USB-C. Like, just have gotten a tablet that has USB-C on it. And that's the only USB-C device that I have currently. So I'm a very, very late adopter on that. Good thing is, by the time I get around to it, there will be billions of accessories available for me to use. So I don't have to worry about ever needing anything, needing to wait for anything to come out, because they'll be out already waiting for me. Good Lord, there's the sneezy cat. Okay, so this is a mix, 2 dark reefer to 1 Fenrisian gray. I'm just coming in here and lining some of these edges here. It's okay if we get a little thicker, because we're going to come in with a Fenrisian gray by itself and hit just the corners. Okay. Continue that edging on around here. The important thing with edging, and not everybody knows this, I'm not saying it's exclusive information or anything, but edging is easiest done with, well, the edge of your brush. Rather than trying to paint an edge, but going like this, right, along the edge, if you come on it and lay the flat of your brush on the side of the edge of the edge, and do it like that. That works a lot better. You'll get a lot straighter lines. So if you see, I'm not pulling it along the edge, I'm putting it about a 45 degree to the edge. Okay, and pulling it like that. And generally best to pull away from yourself as well. Sometimes you can't do that edge, in an angle format like I would normally do. So you have to pull those along it straight along the edge, and that takes a very light touch most of the time. And a good fine tip for too, that also helps. Okay. There, and we're going to have to switch to Fenrisian when we get a little higher up, because this is barely showing. Once it dries, it's almost disappeared. So you need to drop in the Fenrisian next. Now this is going to look extremely bold, but I think once it dries, it will be okay. If it doesn't, we can always mix in a little more Dark Reaper, so it's not quite so bold. A little bit of garbage there. Let's see if I can clean that up real quick. There we go. Got it. Fantastic. I like when a plan comes together. That one was definitely less shaky. That one got kind of notchy, but it'll be okay, I think. Okay, we're pulling up close to our end time here. So if you guys haven't already followed and like what you see, if you would please follow that Willow link. Check out my social medias. Also give us a follow here if you haven't already. Follows are free. We do appreciate it. I'm just going to do a little bit more edging here for the rest of the stream. Edging is one of those things that, I don't know, I'm sort of zen about it. Like I really like edging. And a lot of people freak over it, but when you got a model like this that has a lot of edges on it, it's not like a Gundam. There's a lot of smooth stuff on it too, but it does have a lot of places where you can edge. I like that. Always makes me happy. So I think we're starting to pop together now. Starting to come together as a cohesive unit, I believe. A different color there. I think we're going to have to go lighter than that. And this is another thing right here. This color kind of just stopped abruptly. So we'll have to, that was due to masking and got a little too sharp on my mask. So we'll come in here and color these in a little bit. They aren't quite just sharp drop-offs. Okay. Where is my London gray? My neutral gray. That's what I'm looking for. Neutral gray. Where are you? Well, it just disappeared on me. I don't know how these paints walk off my desk. They do it at night, I think. I think they think this is kind of a game. So they just run off when they can't. You need to win the lottery so I can quit my job and stay home and watch Twitch all day. I am down with that. I am 100% down with that. Well, I'll tell you what, let's make a pact. If I win, I'll share with you. You win, you share with me, okay? That way we can both do it. We double our chances. Sorry you got here so late. We're almost about to wrap up. In fact, we only have a couple more minutes, but it's good to see your face. I mean, figuratively, see your face. We're gonna probably try and finish this guy up on some personal streams. So I will try my best to stream this weekend. If you can make time then, Z. Said I'm not 100% sure I can, but I'm going to try to. Because we need to finish this up, and we also need to finish up the terrain project that we were working on. All right. So I'm guessing you've been busy with work, huh? We had a total sighting earlier. Total 420 showed up earlier, and it was pretty cool. But he was also at work, and apparently his boss caught him, so he had to quit watching the stream. It was sad. All right, guys, we are just about at that moment. We got about 3 more minutes, so let's do some edging to wrap it up. Edging is my favorite. Need to track a mini you found on eBay. Cool. You are a shopaholic, my friend. I can't say nothing. I just spent $55 on a deck of cards. So yeah, I can't say anything in regards to anybody being a shopaholic. So I mean, granted, they are relatively rare and hard to find now, other than in other people's possessions. But the retro Fate deck from Malifaux, I managed to get one, and it, like I said, it was a pretty decent price, but the shipping from England made it not so great a price. And of course, then had to wait and wait and wait. It'd been sitting in the customer, i.e., my custom port, for 15 days. And I finally wrote them. I was like, guys, where is this package? Can I expect it sometime before Christmas? And they wrote back and they said, oh, it should have been delivered yesterday. I was like, that would have been nice to know. And apparently it got delivered to one of my neighbors, like 2 streets down, whose address is nothing like mine. So I don't know how the mailman managed to get it there, but they were kind enough to bring it by and drop it off at the house yesterday. So it was great to get my package finally. All right, guys. So we did some non-metallic metal gold trim around all these little ankle strap or kneecaps here. We did some hose painting, getting some highlights on those hoses. We did a little edging around the body, and as well as on those little joints and stuff. So we've made a good bit of progress today. It's definitely not done, but it's a lot further along than it was before. I'm digging it. So we're gonna finish that project up on my personal stream. We'll try and do that this weekend. You can find me at haunted_miniatures here on Twitch. But yeah, I will be back here on Play Wyrd next Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. And so guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Z, I'm sorry you got in at the very end, but I'm glad you did make it at least. You can't get your boss out of the office when it's raining here. That's funny. Shipping for anything nowadays, shipping is just ridiculous. Be safe, be well, stay awesome. Thank you, Karu. That's awesome. You stay safe as well. And everybody, thank you so much for hanging out, and we will see you next time. Until then, stay weird.